What's good? This is another episode here of Top Title Sports. I'm your host, Eric Vincent. Appreciate you for being here as we ramp it up and getting ready for WWE Money in the Bank. So we got to talk about three things that we got to pay attention to tonight on Friday Night Smackdown. Before we get into these headlines, make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video so you can ramp up the channel and help us get more content out your way. We would greatly appreciate your support. And with no further delay, let's talk about Smackdown. Huge segment I'm looking forward to tonight, tweeted by WWE, a WWE Women's Championship presentation to Asuka. What have we been seeing WWE do lately? Present new titles, right? Nobody needs them more than the women's division. And based on this tweet that WWE put out earlier, is that what we're getting? Because be clear, it doesn't say a championship presentation for the Raw Women's Championship, which is what Asuka's currently known as. She's not the SmackDown Women's Championship, even though she's on SmackDown. They clearly still have her as the Raw Women's Champion, but they didn't have that in the tweet. So are we possibly seeing a new championship being debuted for the women's division? I'm hoping this is the case. They need this more than anything. They need this, they need Rhea Ripley's title change, and they still need a mid-card title, and just an appropriate push for the women's division in general. I think this is a great way to start it off, especially with how Asuka just won the title a couple weeks ago. I didn't really care for her whole promo that she just did last week with Grayson Waller. Like, she came out slapping hands with the crowd, and it was just kind of confusing because if I'm not mistaken, Asuka's still a heel, and they're presenting her as a face if she's smiling and high-fiving kids in the crowd. It doesn't really play to the storyline, it just kind of has me confused. WWE does everything on their own time, but it seems like now, if the plan is to present a new title for the women's division, this is the perfect way to do it, and this is the perfect time to start doing it just before Money in the Bank. Asuka deserves it. The women's division needs it. I think this will be huge for her character and the women's division on SmackDown tonight. Now, getting ready for Money in the Bank, we got a few qualifying matches on the men's and women's side tonight for SmackDown, and honestly, I'm kind of hyped for them all. Looking at the women's side, we have Mia Yim versus Bayley, and we have Shotzi versus Io Sky on the women's side. Now, for me, I think Io Sky should be the winner of the entire thing. She should be the one at the top of that ladder, grabbing that briefcase and becoming Miss Money in the Bank. That needs to happen. I think she's talented enough. Everybody wants to see her and Asuka go at it. That storyline would be phenomenal. I don't care to see her necessarily fight Rhea Ripley. It wouldn't make no sense at this point. I would love to see Io Sky win Money in the Bank and go up against Asuka and snatch the title off of her as well. I think that's a given in terms of her match up with Shotzi, because Shotzi's just Shotzi. Like, no one really, no disrespect, nobody cares about Shotzi. Shotzi gets booked horribly. She has some sloppy matches. She is just randomly thrown in these storylines where it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And now all of a sudden, she's put in a position where really it seems like she's just trying to get Shotzi, or excuse me, they're just trying to get Io Sky over. So for me, this is very clear. That's going to be Io Sky's victory. Bayley and Mia Yim, I think, could go either way. I would love to see it go for Mia Yim, just because I think she needs a little bit of momentum. After joining back with OC, they come over to SmackDown. I just think it makes too much sense to have Mia Yim get this victory to build up some momentum for her, especially for some babyface women on SmackDown as well. Bayley doesn't necessarily need this victory. Bayley's been cold, and she's been losing a lot ever since they came back in that SummerSlam. But at this point, I don't see a necessity to have Bayley win this match. If the storyline is still the downfall of Damage Control, Bayley can lose, which would lose her credibility in the group as the leader, but then she can also still be involved in the Money in the Bank match. She can come out with Io Sky, she can be on the sideline outside the ring and maybe try to help her, just like she just tried doing in the Io Sky Bayley, or excuse me, the Bianca Belair match. They could try to do the same thing with that, which will again ultimately equal the demise of Damage Control, whether it be Io Sky winning and Bayley is jealous, or Io Sky doesn't win at all and it's Bayley's fault because she doesn't win, and then you have them go head to head. I would love to see that as well. But again, my dream scenario out of this is Io Sky winning and cashing it on Asuka. It doesn't make sense to have her fight Rhea Ripley, and the match that she could pull off with Asuka on a PLE scene, main event caliber fighting, I believe we would see. Main event caliber wrestling between those two. I need to see it happen. On the men's side, two more good matches. Butch, Baron Corbin versus Mustafa Ali and my guy, Santos Escobar. These are very, very obvious, I believe, because if you look at the matches and how they're set up, you have two guys who have recently been on NXT a lot. That's Baron Corbin and Mustafa Ali. And they're not just, being, thrown in these mid-card type matches. Baron Corbin was going after Carmelo Hayes for the NXT title, and Mustafa Ali is apparently aligning himself to try to maybe get into the fold of the North American Championship. Given that, I think it's pretty obvious that those two guys aren't going to win. I don't see Baron Corbin or Mustafa Ali winning these matches. I think they're going to kind of hang around NXT for a while to kind of rebuild their credibility. I don't see them winning this match serving them in any kind of way, especially considering Santos Escobar, he's been building up some pretty good momentum. LWO, they've won some good matches. They got a good win against the Usos a few weeks ago. They've shut down some good PLEs with some cameos and some features that they've been doing. I think Santos is red hot right now. He should be the winner. Butch speaks for itself. He's from the UK. They might even switch his whole character at this point, possibly. I do think that could be coming up soon. He could be going back to a Peter Dunne, which was, I believe, his character back in NXT. They could possibly be trying to work in bringing that back as well, because he's going to be super popular when he's in the Money in the Bank match in the UK. It makes sense for him to win. I would love to see it personally. And finally, the last thing that we need to be checking out for the Bloodline story, which is clearly getting better and better and better by the week. Plenty of sources online have been saying that Roman Reigns is supposed to be on SmackDown every week up until SummerSlam at this point. I'm expecting that to be the case tonight. I'm hoping he doesn't no-show because the story is getting too good. And while the Usos and Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa do a great job of carrying the story without Roman when he's not there, it only adds more intrigue when your main champion is there. I know, that's such a crazy theory to think of, right? God, I hate part-time wrestlers. Anyway, I am super excited about this segment. I cannot wait to see after what just happened last week. Roman Reigns, literally since this story has started, has done an amazing job of pitting the Usos against each other. And he's now doing it again with Solo Sikoa as well. He did it last week when he said, oh, well, Jimmy, you're talking like you're the leader. Why don't you let Solo speak for himself and let him tell you who who his allegiance lies with at this point? And then he's looked kind of compromised. I mean, it was obvious that he was going to go with Roman, but it was clear that that's the route that they're going to go, by having Roman pit the brothers against each other. Now, he's doing the same thing with Jey Uso again. Jey will do as he always does, as he said last week. He will fall in line and he will come home. After Jimmy Uso super kicked Roman Reigns twice at Night of Champions, mushed him in the face in the following SmackDown at the 1,000-day celebration of Roman's title reign, the Usos are back in the main event picture of everything in WWE. And I love it. I love them being the focal point. I love where not just Jey, because it's obviously Jey's story considering how involved he is, but I love where Jimmy's involvement has gone in this as well, as being the protective older brother, because even though they're twins, Jimmy was born first, so he's looked at as the older of the brothers. He's playing that protector from Roman. It adds to the intrigue, it adds to the mystery, because remember, when he kicked Roman, Jey wasn't all the way for it. So Jimmy's been trying to get in his head and say, yo, we the ones, not him. I would never treat you like he's been treating you. I'm your brother. I'm your family. He told Roman, you haven't been a good brother lately. So now that protective side of Jimmy is only going to get stronger, because not only does Jay have to make a choice of whether he's going to fall in line and be back in the bloodline with Roman Reigns, they also have to find a way to get Solo Sikoa away from Roman Reigns. So it's a lot of things that need to happen before the downfall of the bloodline becomes official. And I think we're going to start seeing some more of those cracks tonight. Roman is in a position where he still has all the power at his disposal. He's got the new title, which looks weird. He has the new title. He still has Solo Sikoa under his thumb. He still has Jay in Stockholm Syndrome land. And everything is working under his control. If Jimmy is going to try to keep things under control with his family the way he wanted to, which is them not being abused by Roman anymore, they not only have to get Jey Uso out of the bloodline, they have to get Solo Sikoa out of the bloodline, and they also have to find a way to get the title off of Roman. And notice I said they need to do it, because it's the Usos story. I don't care about Cody's story. I don't care about nobody else that's not involved in the bloodline story right now. The Usos are the most sensible wrestlers to take the title off of Roman. I don't think it's gonna be Jimmy, even though I do think there's gonna be a PLE match between Roman and Jimmy Uso, which I would love to see, because Jimmy ain't got no Stockholm Syndrome. From the rip, Jimmy is pushed back on joining the bloodline and bowing down to everything that Roman says, especially with how he's been acting since they lost the tag team titles at WrestleMania. So we're gonna see a lot more pushback from the Usos. We're gonna see Jimmy still be that protective of a brother, and now we're gonna see Jey Uso make a choice of whether he's going to be aligned with his brother or if he wants to be aligned with the bloodline, with Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman and his little brother Solo Sikoa. It's a lot of things that we gotta pay attention to, man. I cannot wait to check it all out. Talk to me in the comment section though. I'd love to hear the feedback from you guys. What are you most looking forward to on SmackDown tonight? Hit me up in the comment section. Like the video as well. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well so we can run those subscription numbers up. We would greatly appreciate that for you. Keep this content coming your way, and I cannot wait to check out SmackDown. I'll be back again with another video so we can rap about what happened afterwards. I'll see you again soon right here with Top Time Sports. Peace.